Yo, I'm sorry. Shawn Spears. This is a burial of Shawn Spears, bro. Shawn Spears has success in the friend. He has always been in the friend zone of success, where he thinks he should get it, but he's actually never going to get it, even how hard he really wants to be in that position. That's the equivalent of being in the friend zone. And for Shawn Spears, Shawn Spears has literally trained frickin' Cody Rhodes, and Cody couldn't even get him over. You have the hair that looks like you probably been in 17 pride parades, but you have to pretend you're straight. He's spent 10 years of developmental. If I spent 10 years in developmental and you barely even haven't even had at least half of a decade in the main roster, and you only still think that you're going to get over off a developmental gimmick like saying 10 for 10 years of wasted potential, then I would see why I didn't ask for my release even sooner. Shawn Spears has average talking ability, no charisma, no definitive gimmick except one time when he kept shouting out 10. I think his name was Gavin Spears. The guy just screams bland wrestler I probably beat last week. No prestige comes out of Shawn Spears. He's possibly not even gonna have a wrestling part coming into MJF's new faction. Over what we've seen, we have a potential big heavyweight with a good look and can wrestle like Wardlow. FTR, at least the old school and hardcore fans like him, like FTR, and of course only and post and and some casuals or hardcore AEW F boys like MJF that I understand because at least FJF, even though sometimes people can overrate him, and I can understand that too, the guy's still one of the better talkers out of the show. He has a lot more potential in, in most of what we got here on AEW to begin with, and he can at least create a crowd to boo him. And Shawn Spears, it's just Shawn Spears. That's a period. Like, if you ever think, what do you know about Shawn Spears? It's Shawn Spears. That's about it. Your own girl is better than you. I forgot. Who is this girl again? Who is it? Peyton Royce? She have more potential than you? That is depressing. And she gets more television time than you. That's sad, Shawn. They try to give you a Manimal Claw gimmick. That couldn't work. They give you Tully Blanchard, a four horsemen. A freaking four horsemen. If I was managed by a four horseman, I should at least be a two-time TNT champion by now. You couldn't even do that. And, oh, God almighty, bro. He is such a cuck. I've seen bad wrestlers. Like, no one can ever be upset if Shawn Spears leaves. If MJF, possibly FTR, the Young Bucks, Cody, uh, LAX, Brian Cage loses, that'll be possibly a big part of their roster that people could be like, oh, I want to see these people. These guys stand out. Nothing about Shawn Spears stands out, other than sometimes he wears freaking eye contact with a dumb ripoff of the Nightmare Family logo, but he just puts but he put a maple leaf flag on the logo instead to just stand out. The guy sucks. What was he notable for? Nearly concussing Cody Rhodes off a chair shot, and then he got jobbed out of majority of their storylines. Even for a TNT title tournament when the belt was first getting introduced, he lost in the first freaking round. There was no story implemented at all. He just lost. And then he was in this crappy feud over with Scorpio Sky that he didn't even pick up barely a W other than cheaply getting the win with a metal compartment where what he puts on the glove and he hits him with it. That's not a good look if you want to be a definitive top guy. You just scream Impact Wrestling mid-carder that you possibly are going to get in like a 10-month feud with Eddie Edwards. How they even allow you still over on AEW is possibly because you have a good relationship with either Cody Rhodes, some of the guys over in the back, because nobody wants to ever sound like, oh, I want to be here because I want to make money and be successful. We're always here for each other and we're so accepting. And the tolerable part about this, I'm intolerant about. It's so SJW, so garbage that we accept mediocrity. Hopefully, Shawn Spears does something like at least be a small manager for like Wardlow or an ambassador or some crap that he takes most of the punishment. Because Shawn Spears is like a guy that I don't even want on television, and possibly any other people, even AEW fans, are like, Shawn Spears? It's like, MJF? Okay, Wardlow sounds cool. FTR needs more TV time. Shawn Spears? Who? He's a jobber. He's a glorified jobber. Even on AEW, with supposedly a freaking WCW light with amateur camera production, a jobber indie roster with a lackluster creative staff with no central writers to actually orchestrate a show to make it feel good, to make it actually a good television project, or have guys that can actually make the show feel more interesting to make it more episodic. That we have to produce stuff that allows people like Shawn Spears to still be on television, and it's stuff like that that's like killing pro wrestling in general. That's just my opinion. No matter how you see it, Shawn Spears sucks. And that's it coming from this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Of course, we have Dynamite come tomorrow night at Wednesday Eastern on TNT. And I'm technically the 14th person out of Tony Schiavone that possibly has a noose on standby every time he has to listen to Excalibur talk or breathe with his quintuple chin next to him on the commentary table while Jim Ross is trying to see if he really wants to choke himself with barbecue sauce. Other than that, that's it coming for me. Like, comment, subscribe to the DSC Show. Thanks for watching.